Alright guys, this is the last, and I'm making my probably final video of the night, which is going to be about supporting. I'm going to be on Radiant this time, and I'm kind of torn on which support to pick, because really anyone can be a support. So I'll just pick my favorite support in the game. Probably my favorite hero in the game, which is Rubik. He's just really fun to play. So whenever you support, you want to buy the courier, both wards, some sentry wards, tangos, then you want to give 2 tangos to whoever your mid is. You can give people tangos by essentially using them on them. And then a lot of times I'll grab a Smoke of Deceit or either that or a Clarity. And you wanna head out right away. Also usually I'll give a ward to my offlaner. That'll allow my offlaner to put a ward somewhere over here, which will give him some vision so that the supports in this lane can't zone him out effectively. And a lot of times in my games we'll have 3 people in this lane and only 1 person in this lane, and I'm guessing that the bots are going to choose to have 2 people up here and 2 people down here. So it's not an ideal situation for showing you how to actually support, but I think it's going to do the job, and I hope I can teach you guys something. So a lot of times, Fog of War is bad. I can't see anything here, and I'm going to want to keep the creeps here. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to come out here and get a ward down. So this way I can kind of see if anything's coming. Maybe the mid laner tries to come up here, or maybe someone TPs into the tower and they want to come to this lane. Another great place to put a ward is going to be here. That'll give you vision of the rune. So if 2 minutes comes up and the middle laner comes to get a rune, you'll know if he gets an invisibility rune that you need to kind of back off. I also buy sentries because a lot of times good players will ward. They'll put a ward in here so that you can't do what I'm about to show you, and there are some strategies for dewarding that so that because if there was a ward in here, those creeps wouldn't have spawned. So say someone put a ward right here, it wouldn't spawn. But then I could put my sentry outside the spawn box, and then I would see the ward and I could kill it. So first I'm going to show you, so this is stacking. I talked about it in the last video. At 54 seconds, I'm just going to attack this here. They're going to come out, and then the camp's going to stack. So if I don't stack this and I pull this camp into the creep wave, potentially my creep wave will be able to kill that camp, and since there is no creep wave, this camp would have pushed into the tower, which would have pushed the wave, and then I would still have some units which were going to be coming into the lane. So basically if you do a single pull and you don't kill all the creeps, you really push the wave a lot. Whereas right now, although this is coming under my tower, I'm denying a full wave of experience and gold to the enemy team. So it's really good. It allows your carry to farm safely under the tower. It allows you to get extra experience and gold from the neutral creeps, and it denies the enemy heroes all of this golden experience. So as you see, 54 is coming right up. I'm going to stack again. So now I don't want to let this creep wave come under my tower. Oh, this is going to be bad. I'm dead. I didn't want that creep wave to come under my tower. But, I mean, it's hard because this is a robot that has no idea what it's doing, and typically there's only one hero in this lane. But it's not the end of the world. I can hop right back in. I'll TP here. I'll buy another TP. And again, 2 minutes came up. The rune's there. So the wave's in a good spot. It's actually in a bad spot. I would never want to be pushing this hard. But so as you can see, we have 2 range creeps, 3 melee. They have 2 melee, 1 ranged. So that's going to push. We have a bigger wave, it's going to push. So what I want to do, again, is I want to pull at 244, run out here. They're going to aggro, and then I'm going to be able to get some farm, some experience, and I'm going to deny farm and experience to the enemy team, and at 3 minutes you want to buy the flying courier. That's the first time that's available to buy. That's pretty much your job as the support. And there you go. Now the wave is going to push into our tower. And like I was kind of showing you before, if you don't really want them to push into your tower, you can kind of hold them up. But be careful you don't get caught out like I did. So now I know, now they're going to not push under the tower, so the wave's not going to push, and my carry can farm safely. So I'm really low on health. I'm going to eat a tango to heal up a little bit. I leveled up. I'll use my level. And right now would be a time that I might consider doing something like using my smoke. You want to use smoke when you gank mid, because a lot of times they'll have a ward somewhere that can see you coming. So I just grabbed the bounty rune. It's hard because I can't communicate with the robot, but typically I'd be like, hey, you know, is now a good time to gank mid? They'd say yes, and I would come mid, and so he has a haste rune. I can't gank him right now. So I'm going to try and wait out his haste as much as possible without my smoke expiring. So smoke's about to expire. This would essentially be a failed gank. I'm still going to try it, but I don't have a lot of faith for it. So that was, you know, wasted movement. Didn't accomplish anything. I wasted my time. But sometimes that happens, and it's okay. So I'm not going to hang around there and sap experience from my mid laner. I'm just going to come back to the lane. It looks like it's in a pretty good spot. So I'm probably not going to pull the creeps. I will stack this because I have some heroes who can benefit from coming over to a stacked camp, because they can take it out really fast and then they'll get extra bonus golden experience. So now wave's in a good spot. I'm just going to kind of come in from the side, and because I'm not in like range of the creeps, they're not going to aggro on me while I'm attacking these creeps. So I'm using my range and my vision advantage to harass these units. And they're easy bots, so they're bad. They're bad at Dota. I don't know what they're doing. Like, this guy's dead. He's just dead. So that's something you do. So now we've kind of forced them out of the lane. And again, our wave is pushing. I really don't like that, so I'm going to pull. And now I'm going to be able to show you a double pull, because I'm gonna do that, which is gonna really weaken this camp. So I'm gonna eat this tree, and my creeps are gonna just destroy this camp now. And now if I pull this camp, which I stacked earlier over here, if I do it properly, I will be able to do a pull through. So now not only did I kill this whole camp, but I'm also gonna be able to get some experience from this camp as well. And as you can see, I've maintained my lane equilibrium. If he were good, he would have taken some damage there to keep them out of tower range. But he's a robot, and I don't wanna mess with that camp. But anyway, so now it's 6:30. I'm not thinking about stacking. I'm not really thinking about ganking. I am keeping my eye on the minimap. I see that Wind Ranger is not here, so I essentially know that this guy's all alone. So I'm gonna be really aggressive with him and force him back to his base. And this is going to allow my carry, the Dragon Knight, to get free farm. So now would be a time that I would buy some more wards, because the wards have come into stock. I would consider pulling right here at 7:14, because we do have a rather large wave. And the only thing I would do other than pull might be go back to base, because right now, if they tried to gank my mid laner, I couldn't really do anything to help. I don't have enough mana, and if I TP'd in there, I wouldn't be able to help him. So if I were worried about him getting ganked, I would go back to base and get mana. But what I want to do is I want to control the lane equilibrium for my carry, and I want to try and get as much farm and experience for myself as possible. So I'm going to let this creep wave die. I'm not going to be able to kill any of these units and get experience. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put a sentry ward to check for observer wards here, and I'm going to grab the 8-minute rune. Now at this point, I'm going to buy boots, and I could buy a couple things. I was worried about mana. I could have bought some mana. I'll buy another Smoke of Deceit, and I'll save up for my arcane boots. Maybe I'll also buy a healing salve. Healing salves are nice because you can use them to heal up allied units, or you can simply use them on yourself if you need the little boost in health. So now, for whatever reason, my carry has left the lane, and if for whatever reason your carry has to leave the lane, you're gonna wanna take the lane. You're gonna wanna try and get all the last hits you can. You can deny creeps. So I only want to hit the enemy creeps for the last hit to get the gold, and then I constantly want to be denying my creeps, because that'll push the wave back toward my tower. And if I can actually get the last hit on the deny on my ally creeps as well, it'll deny some experience from them, which is good. So my ward expired here. I really want to get another one up, but for whatever reason he's not in lane, so I need to stay here. There's no reason to not be here getting the experience. I'm level 5, Wind Ranger's level 5, so neither of us could probably really kill each other, but what I can do is I can focus on denying my creeps, and getting my last hits. And now the Dragon Knight's back. We could, if he's good, maybe we can go on him. He's gonna run. Okay, so hopefully he'll stop. He should stop. You never want to dive under tower until you're, a much higher level. So he's kind of crazy right now to do that. There are exceptions. This game's all about knowing exactly how far you can dive and things like that. So 10-minute rune came up. Regen rune, pretty good. So whenever I see a regen rune, I'm thinking, I can afford to take some damage, and I can afford to spend some mana, because I know I can just instantly refill all of my health and mana by using that rune. So I'm going to kind of dive under the tower. I can use the ability, so my ultimate is I steal abilities from other heroes. So I stole Wind Run from Wind Ranger, which gives me 100% evasion temporarily. So I knew I could kind of dive under the tower and be okay. So anyway, this is like I'm gonna probably end the video there. That's just like the basic stuff that I think about as a support. It's about maintaining creep equilibrium. It's about paying attention to the minimap and being ready to teleport in when people are diving your allies at towers. You want to be able to dive in, and it's about denying the enemy farm and experience. So looks like my team's doing a pretty good job. So I don't need to TP mid to help them. It's better for me to push this lane, get experience for myself, and sometimes it's okay to be losing fights on the map. If you lose a fight 5v3 and you only lose one hero, but you had 2 other heroes who were farming uncontested in their lane, you're coming out ahead. So like that guy just died. Maybe I should have TP'd, I don't know. I was talking and not really paying attention, but Bloodseeker's coming in here. He might rupture me, but I have a TP ready to. So he ruptured me, I'm gonna steal that. I don't know if I can kill him. Yeah, I think I can. I think he's dead. Nice. So, one good way to deal with Bloodseeker if you... Oops, I accidentally smoked instead of using my clarity. One good way to deal with Bloodseeker if he casts Rupture on you, which damages you when you move, is to just instantly cast Town Portal. He doesn't have any way on his own to interrupt it, so if he's alone, he won't be able to kill you. But instead of just panicking and Town Portaling, I stole his Rupture, cast it on himself, and or cast it on him, and killed him. So, like I said, this game's all about knowing what your hero's capable of. So my smoke just broke, which means there's an enemy nearby. I'm going to put a ward down to kind of give me some vision in this area, and then I'm going to head top. So we've taken the mid tower. I put a good chunk of damage in there, and this one's almost dead. So as a team, we can decide, that we want to go take this tower. Because when you take towers, you get gold and map control for your team. I have Rupture available. I can cast it on him so he can't run. And then I can steal his ability. And, you know, we can easily take this tower. And now that we know it's, they have 2 heroes dead. And I just saw Viper there. Or I guess Bounty Hunter there, so, you know we can kind of keep pushing here safely. And whenever you can put damage in on towers safely, you want to do that. I'm not going to cast my spells right now. I was tempted to cast W to push. Now that I see Viper there, I might, but you want to conserve your mana as much as possible. Like this costs 150 mana, and this costs 120 mana. So as long as I have 270 mana, I know I can cast those 2 abilities. I would like to have 390 mana, because then I can cast all 3 of my abilities. So my Arcane Boots are coming off cooldown. Use those, and now I know I have 480 mana. I can cast all my abilities, and then I'll probably even have enough to... So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to steal Rupture. I'd rather have Rupture. I'm going to Rupture him. And yeah, we won the fight, and we're going to be able to take this tower. So one of the things I like about playing support is I feel like it really allows me to focus on communicating with my team, calling out objectives, and providing vision. So I think I'll call it there for that video. I think it's been pretty good, and I don't want to risk making it worse. But I guess I can always edit that out, so. Nah, I'm gonna call it because I'm gonna, I think, play a real game and see how that goes for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed the videos, and good luck and have fun. Oh, by the way, you should never let yourself get 3,000 gold. You should buy stuff like Wards, Smoke, Tome of Knowledge, Blink Dagger, and a Magic Wand.